I follow people at night. It's not as weird as you think. I'm not a stalker or anything like that. I just pick random people and follow behind them for a while. People watching is considered normal, and I think of following people around as just a more involved version of that. When you people watch in public places, you see how people act when they're in a social setting, but I'm more interested in how people act when they think that nobody is watching. I'll admit that I get a thrill out of being stealthy enough to remain unseen. It's like a game to me, staying just far enough away and in the shadows to avoid detection. Usually, though, people do realize that they're being followed. I've been doing this for long enough to know for certain that people have a sixth sense about this kind of thing. I can be as inconspicuous and quiet as possible, but more often than not they'll still stop in their tracks at a certain point and look in all directions because they felt someone staring into the back of their head. After that, if I'm playing the game right, they'll just shake it off and continue on their way, and I'll continue right behind them. I like to see where people go at night. I'll follow people to bars, clubs, hotels, parks, convenience stores, or whatever, and peek through the windows to see what they're buying or who they're talking to. Sometimes I'll wait outside, watching, for hours until they leave again. And then I take up the chase all over again. My favorite is when I get to follow them home. I find it so fascinating to see who lives in all of the apartments and houses around the city. That's where their sixth sense will typically kick in again, or for the first time if they haven't subconsciously detected me before that. Something about standing on the doorstep and fumbling for the keys makes people acutely aware of strangers who may be watching from afar. A couple of weeks ago, I spotted a beautiful girl as the sun was setting. I follow all kinds of people. I don't just creep on women all of the time, but she was so pretty that I found it impossible to resist staying on her tail. Night fell, and I followed her as she went on a rambling and seemingly aimless walk around the city. It was especially hard to keep myself from being seen. She was more paranoid than most of my subjects. Her head was around her shoulder and looking suspiciously around every few minutes. I laughed to myself after a while. She was no match for me. I had been doing this for so long that I didn't think that there was a chance I could be spotted. That was until we arrived at her doorstep. She lived in a rundown house on the edge of town. The neighborhood was in near total darkness except for when the streetlights would flicker on for just a single moment every minute or so. I had bad luck that night. She got paranoid and checked her peripherals right as the lights flickered, and she saw me crouching behind a bush. "Who are you?" she called out into the pitch blackness. I didn't say a word. I thought that if I stayed quiet and motionless, she might think that her mind was just playing tricks on her. "I see you there. What do you want?" I could tell that the jig was up. I rose slowly to my feet as she pulled her phone out and shone the flashlight at me. She asked again, "Who are you?" I didn't know what to say. This was the first time that I had been caught without any sort of plausible deniability that I could use as an excuse. So, against my better judgment, I was honest. I simply told her that I had been following her. Following me? Why? I kept it vague. I just told her that it's what I do. "Oh, then you must be my guardian angel," she said with an odd mixture of excitement and relief. I laughed and said that I suppose that I must be. "I'm so glad that you're here. I knew that you would come. I just knew it. I've been waiting for you." Her response was strange and it made me uneasy. I asked her if she had seen me following her earlier that night, because I figured that that's what she must have been referring to. "No, but I saw him," she said quietly. "The devil." "The devil?" I asked her who this devil was. "You didn't see him? He's been following me for weeks, and he keeps getting a little closer each time." I hoped and prayed that my guardian angel would come and save me. If the devil is following me, then the angel who watches over me must be following too. That's when my sixth sense kicked in. The hairs on my neck stood up straight. I didn't hear a sound. I didn't catch anything out of the corner of my eye, but somehow I knew that there was something behind me. Suddenly the street was unnaturally quiet, as if the air around us had frozen in place, and I heard the breath get caught in the pretty girl's throat. I turned and looked. What I saw only for a second. The streetlights blinked on for a single moment, and I saw the devil that had followed us both. It was a horribly bloated and decomposing corpse with eyes and mouth full of maggots, clothed in a hooded robe, standing perfectly still about a yard away. The light went back out. A gust of wind as cold as death itself blew across my face, and the stench of 1,000 open graves filled my nostrils. The girl behind me screamed so loudly that I thought that my eardrums would burst. I ran. Couldn't save her. I didn't even try. I wasn't her guardian angel. I was just a coward. But what could I have done against whatever that thing was? I never saw it move, but I know that it got past me and killed her. As I made my escape, her screams seemed to only get louder until they suddenly stopped completely. There was never any report about what happened in the media. I came back to that neighborhood a week later and asked some of her neighbors about what happened to her. They told me that she just up and disappeared one day. No body was ever found. She had just vanished. I tried to get back into my hobby. I started following people around again, but something felt wrong. I kept getting the feeling that I was the one who was actually being stalked. That hooded corpse started appearing in the corner of my eye, but by the time I could turn my head to look, it would be gone. It's better at hiding than I am. Eventually, I stopped trying to follow people and I quit going out at night entirely. When I look out of my windows after dark, I'll see it standing there in the street. As soon as I blink, I lose it. I don't know how much longer I have. Maybe it was just my mind playing tricks on me, but I could swear that I saw it in the reflection of my bathroom mirror last night.